Devin Singletary, the guy we just talked about a minute ago. And this is a guy that, again, there was a lot of high hopes for him coming out, partially put on himself by grabbing number 26, which I thought was a really ballsy move. I know he wore it his whole season, his whole career. It wasn't like he was just going at it, trying to stick one to Saquon. But yeah, that's a pretty ballsy move to take that number like that. On the year, 15 games, 113 carries, 437 yards, 3.9 yards per carry average, 4 touchdowns, 2 fumbles, 21 catches for 119 yards. Had a 62.1 PFF grade overall, 54 grade for receiving, 64.5 for rushing. And I think it's safe to say that he was definitely a disappointment this year.
That's an understatement, yeah.
Yeah. And I think not just for us, but for himself as well.
Well, it's also like we kind of alluded to before. Like he was the main guy first few games, and then he started playing a little more carries with Tracy. And then he got a little injured, and Tracy just took over and never looked back. And Singletary kind of just lost his job. Yeah.
Yeah, but even again, half a yard per carry difference, and there's a reason they gave Tracy the ball more often. It wasn't that he was young; it's because he did more with it. And that's
100%.
what it boils down to. Is it's not just that he's the young guy, let's give him a shot. It's he's the hot hand. Keep giving the damn ball. And I've heard a lot of Giants fans already talking about the fact that Devin Singletary needs to go next year, and we've said it ourselves. In a perfect world, he's not on this roster next year. I'd rather let him go, get a young, rookie at that point or something like that in there. To go ahead and split carries with Tracy. But here's the problem. He's got a 6.25 cap number next year. That's a decent cap number for a running back, $6.25 million. Now, if we cut him, we still have a $6 million dead cap hit. So that just tells you we ain't cutting him.
Yeah, he might be moving to third string, but that's about it.
Now, we could trade him, potentially, if somebody wants to trade for him, and you get $3.7 million, $75 million back. So we only cost him $2.5 million against the cap. But you'd also have to find a team that's not only willing to trade for him, but take on that $7.35 million. That's not nothing for a running back. It's not nearly as bad as the $6 million though. So you might find somebody, but you're not going to get a return for him. That's for damn sure with that kind of contracts with him at that point. The nice thing is there'd be no guaranteed money past that, and you wouldn't have to worry about him next year, being an issue cap space wise for whoever trades for him. It'd be like a 1-year rental basically. 28 years old next year to be as well. Obviously, it's starting to get a little higher up there for running backs, and I think this is one of those cases too that when the Giants are crappy, it also helps them. Because I think teams may look at him and go, well, he's succeeded everywhere. It's the Giants. That's the problem.
Yeah, totally the Giants' fault.
Like, who would have thought being the Giants and being so crappy would help? As your camera's drunk again.
Yeah.
It's definitely, like I said, I definitely think it's a move we got to make to try to figure out a way to get rid of him. I think it's best for him. I think it's best for the team. I just don't know how feasible it's going to be with that contract overall. So, we'll have to see what happens there. But I definitely think it's a move that you could see happening at some point this offseason that we look to get rid of, because he's already said himself he's frustrated. He's been very clear on the fact that he's frustrated as well. And he's used to doing better things. He's used to doing, over 1,000 yards a season. Ironically enough, the year that Tyrone Tracy had is kind of what he usually does. 800 and change rush, about 300 yards receiving. Like, that's a typical Devin Singletary year. That's exactly what he is usually. So
typically, yeah.
Yeah. So again, I think you might find somebody who wants him. It's just they might not want him with that contract and try to wait to see if we cut him. And it just doesn't make sense for us to cut him. So
no.
Kind of in the impasse unless he takes some kind of pay cut. Because that might inhibit a trade there.
Which, I mean, like we said, it's going to be 28 years old. You might want to get what you can right now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Unless he figures out like he can sign somewhere, say the Cardinals or something like that.
Or he just doesn't want to play for the Giants anymore. I know him and Dable, obviously, and Shane have a good relationship with their days together in Buffalo. But again, he wasn't happy about losing his starting role, and he had his worst year of his career.
Yeah. So you may take a couple $1 million in a pay cut. Say, I still got the juice. I think I'm going to do this for another 5 years. Then we go somewhere else, rebrand myself, take that $1 million, $2 million cap hit cut.
Yep.
Yeah. And then know you're going to get on the back end.
Yeah, unless the Giants cut him post June 1st, but even then you only save $1.5 million, and you're just moving some of that money over to next year, so it doesn't really help you.
Yeah, you're just finagling.
Yeah, you're just kicking the can down the road.
Yeah.
Joe Shane keeps saying he'll never do.
But he does.
He does. He does every time he restructures, but that's a whole separate topic.
If you like that clip, then you will love the full episodes too. Find us on your favorite podcast app and look for us on all your favorite social media platforms.
Thanks so much.
Please, I'm begging you. Please.